In this video, we're going to be talking about some things that Sony users will notice when using the Nikon ZR for the first time, especially if you're coming from like an FX3 or A7S3. This is a part 2 of a 2-part series so far, and here are some things that I definitely come to realize after like 2 months of using this camera. So if you're new here, I'm a director of photography based here in Los Angeles. I shoot a lot of commercial, fashion, and social media content. So if you like that kind of stuff, definitely stick around for the upcoming content because we got some pickups, we got some lighting breakdowns coming up soon, and hopefully you guys had a great New Year's. But let's get straight into the video. So the first thing that you're going to for sure notice is that the app control is pretty much non-existent in comparison to Sony. Sony's monitor and control app has definitely had a lot of nice updates. It wasn't always great, it wasn't always smooth, but the multicam features and just the connectivity is so much better than the Nikon ZR with like the snap bridge or whatever it's called. It's pretty much like non-existent for Nikon, and I definitely really miss that in like for like smaller shoots where you just want to have like an iPad monitoring your camera. It's like night and day, you know, like there's nothing that's like that on the Nikon system as of right now. So that's definitely a big deal if you are used to that kind of workflow. The next thing you're for sure going to notice is the accuracy and the placement of the joystick. For me, the joystick sits a little bit too low. It doesn't really naturally land where my hand wants to be on the camera, and that is kind of it's just annoying in my opinion, especially considering that you only have this one way to operate the camera through this specific joystick, not like Sony where you have the joystick and the spinning control dial that you can use as like a pretty much a D-pad. Definitely something to keep in mind, especially if you're very used to like the FX3. Also, just the accuracy of the joystick. I've definitely misclicked more than I would like to admit on this camera, and it's the only way to really navigate through, so it is something to get used to. But hopefully this could be addressed in either future versions of this camera or in later releases of this camera that can just fix this with like a little bit of hardware change or something like that, because definitely very annoying. The third thing you're going to notice is that you cannot punch in while you're recording on your camera. So like, let's say if you want to check for critical focus while you're already rolling, there's no way to just like clear image zoom to check on your viewfinder or whatever on the body itself to just check if you're in critical focus. That's a pretty big deal, especially if you're using manual lenses, because you already have no focus peaking when you're shooting in red raw, and this camera pretty much only shoots in red raw if you want the best quality for what it is. So I would like to actually just be able to punch in while you're shooting. If there is a way to do this, I've yet to find it, so definitely let me know down below. But as of right now, if you're already rolling on your camera, there is no way easily to check critical focus by zooming in. And on Sony, I do that all the time on both my FX6 and FX3, especially if you're already rolling on your camera, like for like an interview, talking head, product shots, etc. Definitely very annoying, but hopefully that could either be fixed or someone can enlighten me in the comments. This next one may be a little bit more subjective, but I do feel like the color science out of these stills of this camera are way better than the FX3, A7S3, R4, R3, whatever you want to say. I feel like the color science for skin tones straight out of the camera from these raw files look better than these Sony files that you would normally get before. And I'm definitely not I'm more so of a cinematographer than I am a photographer, but for me, I feel like the color science for the skin tones looks more pleasing on this camera. So something to keep in mind as well. The last thing that I for sure found annoying, especially coming from Sony, is that you can see that there's 2 eye tracking boxes on my face when I switch to my phone. Both eyes are being tracked constantly. So definitely a little bit distracting, not gonna lie, but there's no way to my knowledge that you can just turn this off. I didn't really find this as a distraction when using autofocus on my FX3, but I definitely find it very annoying just because it's so bright and distracting and there's no way to get rid of it. So like, let's say if I want to check an underlight on my eyes, or if I want to like do anything in terms of checking lighting on my face, especially particularly with the eyes, there's no way to turn those off. And like I had to actually record this talking head because I didn't like the way that this light was spilling on my face and it was hitting this part of my eye. So if there is a way to turn this off, definitely let me know down below. But I feel like on my Sonys, it would not be tracking me the whole time on my eye. I would eventually switch to like just face tracking in general, and it would just put a box around my whole face. And that's definitely very annoying, especially if you're going to be shooting a lot of interviews with this camera. Like if you get the footage back and there's like a weird cross light or something like that that's coming on your eyes, unacceptable. It should be a way to just at least turn this off, or like change the opacity on this at least, because it's tracking both eyes and it looks like glasses on me the whole time. But yeah, these are definitely some things that I found notable coming from Sony. I've still been loving this camera, man. It's honestly insane for the price. And they already fixed the image shift issue with the Megadap adapter using Sony lenses. And honestly, man, I really am just stoked about what Nikon has next. And I'm loving this camera, dude. And hopefully you guys had a very happy New Year's. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.